Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I get to talk with actress, dancer, Erika Prevost. So welcome, Erika.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We've been chatting offline. It's been very nice. We got through all the pleasantries. We talked about my accent, the weather.
Yeah.
They've been missing out on all the exciting stuff.
We should have been recording. We should have been recording 10 minutes ago.
Erika, I'm excited to talk with you. You haven't been doing this for very long, but I've seen you in several things. You're a talented actress. But let's start this way. I know we got a new show we got to talk about. Let's start with, how you got into dance and how that eventually transitioned to acting. What made you want to do that? Because that's a difficult profession.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up dancing, so acting was never something I had even thought about. But I grew up a dancer. My big dream was to go on tour with like Beyonce or Janet Jackson or something like that. And I
Well,
started
you got to
working.
do some of that though. Eventually, I mean, maybe not with those particular ones, but you did get to
Yeah.
use dance and appear on
Yeah,
some
yeah,
things.
that's the best. That's the best when I actually get to dance. Like when my character is also a dancer, that's like the coolest thing. But yeah, I started as a dancer, and one thing led to another. I was doing a lot of dance gigs, and there was this specific show that was shooting in Toronto that's like a teen dance drama. And a bunch of friends were like, Erica, you'd be perfect for this. Like they're looking for a bunch of dancers. You should go. And I'm like, okay. I'm originally from Montreal, so I took the trip with my dad, and then auditioned for it. And then one thing led to another. I get a call. They're like, okay, we're gonna need you to move to Toronto for 6 months, and it's a series regular. And I was like, wait, you want me to speak? Like it was like full on like actor role. Like I was a character on the show, not like a dancer role. So I was mortified, but also really, really
What
excited.
was the
And
show?
essentially it's called The Next Step.
Oh, the next
Um,
step. Yeah, I know the next step.
yeah, yeah. It's like it's got a great fan base all around the world. But that was my start. And the way that that show works, it takes like people that whose personality inspires them, and then they create characters based off of our own personality. So it's like a really
That's like a
easy
soft
way.
landing for an actress.
It is. It really is. So a lot of us that did that show, we started out as dancers and then met acting through that. And I fell in love with it. So after that, I was like, this is it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Beyonce, but this is it. So yeah, that's how I
Well,
kind
at
of
that
got
point,
into
did you
it.
start taking classes or did you just kind of wing it?
No, I did. I did. I had like my dancer discipline locked in. Like I had been dancing for a very long time before I was booking jobs like this. So I knew I got lucky with this one specific opportunity, but I wanted to train. So I went to the National Theater School after that and did like theater training for 3 years.
I'm sure the dancing helped because you at least have the discipline. You know that if you got a
Yeah,
task, you can put the effort into it because that's what dance is. You got to put a ton of
100%.
effort into it or you're not going to get anywhere.
100%. And the physical awareness as well, being very
Oh, yeah.
comfortable in your body and like knowing what's around you, all of that, really all those skills came into play in acting, and it really helped me.
Has that led to have you done any of your own stunt work or fight scenes, anything like that? Because you can
Yeah.
move.
Yeah, that was a cool thing because we kind of learned while I was in school, we kind of started doing fight choreographies,
Yeah.
and because of my dance training, picking up choreography was never really a challenge. And I also grew up doing karate. So I had a martial arts background, and so I love doing. I won't say I do my own stunts because depending on what you have to do, but like on the boys, let's say I did most of all the fights that I had to do.
Yeah.
Got to really get physical and fight. And my stunt double, Melanie Fenn, she's amazing. She did like the falls, so that I would never hit the ground. And she made it look
Smart.
incredible, made me look like a badass. But I could do all the fight choreo stuff on my
Yeah,
own,
and you did
which
look
is
like a
really
badass
cool.
on The Boys. Enjoyed that one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm a comic book
Yeah.
guy. So I owned a couple comic book stores back in the 90s when I was in school. So
Oh,
I've
cool.
always been into that. And Brett got me into reading The Boys. So I was a big fan before the show came out. And the show, I mean, it's a difficult watch at times, but it's so good.
Yeah, I'm actually curious, like from somebody who already, because it was it was so prevalent in the comic world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for someone that knew the comics and then seeing the show and, in live, that must be
Usually you're
really cool.
disappointed. I haven't
Right.
been disappointed. I think it's different. Like the show or the comic is actually more violent, if you can believe it. And it leans
The
in
the book
more.
is more
Oh
violent
yeah, it's
than the
more. Yeah, it's worse. I know it's hard to believe, but it's
crazy.
worse. And it has like Yui is, I mean, he's full on Scottish in the comics. So, he's got more of an American accent and actor, in the show. But
Yeah.
otherwise, the show's pretty close. Obviously it's not as
Okay.
detailed. You do more in book form, but it's pretty close. I love the show. It's because that's not
It's
easy. It's
so
not easy
good.
adapting something
No.
without kind of screwing up the source material.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like season one, two, and then three, it started to get really
Yeah.
gory, and then season four is like so violent, and that's why I couldn't imagine the comic
I know.
being more than that. But that's interesting.
It's kind of like similar to The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead comic
Okay.
book, much more violent than the show, and the show is so
Okay.
violent. The difference there is that the Walking Dead comic book, it's in black and white. So it's more
Okay.
violent, but it doesn't impact you as bad, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense. If it's in comic form, it's not actually live. You're not seeing the
Well, that's right,
blood
and
splatter
it's
and
black and white, so without the collars,
yeah.
it's just not as bad. It's just not as bad.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
technically more violent than the show. I know, I know. I
Crazy.
was trying to think what the first thing I saw you on, and I was thinking The Boys, but I'm pretty sure it may have been Party of Five because you had an appearance on there too,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I did. I did. I was actually Party of Five. That was cool. It's too bad that they didn't get another season after
I
that
thought
because that
they
was a really
deserved it.
good
It was a good
show.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shot the pilot in, I think they shot most of it in the States, but they shot the pilot in LA. And no, not in LA, sorry. They shot the pilot in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was still in school, and I remember it was such a thing because when we're in school, we're not supposed to work.
Right.
But because I had like work experience before going to school, I was kind of still working, and I got to film in the summer and stuff like that. But that one was specifically during school, and my teacher was like, "You can't do it," and I was like, "I want to do it." And anyway, I did it,
You
and I'm
did.
glad I did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, how it couldn't have been that long of a shoot, right? A few days.
No, no, no. There was only a few days overlap
Yeah.
with school hours, so it was fine. It really wasn't a big deal. They just don't want the students to get in the habit of working and like not prioritizing school because they
Right.
really pride themselves on like when you're submerged in the environment and you're just like in this bubble. That's where
Yeah, and
you
that
get
makes
all the things.
sense.
So yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, you didn't do
Yeah.
the okay, I won't do it. Oh, I'm feeling
No,
sick.
no, no, I didn't. I don't. Yeah, that's actually that could have, but then no, 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 no. Then the teacher. You know what? That would have worked. That would have worked if I didn't ask first. If I didn't
Right.
ask, it would have worked maybe. But because I had asked, and then it would have been too suspicious if I was randomly sick. Like it would have been bad. No, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
you did that wrong.
Yes, I did. I messed up. I messed up by being honest and just asking.
Well, and I watched American Gods. I know you had
Yeah,
a little a dancing part on there.
yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
I'll be honest. I don't remember it. But I did see that you're in
yeah.
it, and I did watch that show, so I've seen it.
It was that was so long ago. I think that was
Well, I think that's
through
the
Amy.
problem. It's just been too long since I've watched it.
Yeah, that was so long ago, and it was a dance part. It was when I was just kind of like starting out, and then Amy Wright, who's the choreographer and also producer on The Next Step, she was choreographing a part for in American Gods, where there's a bunch of like showgirls, and she just called me. She's like, "Do you want to do it?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
So that was
Why
cool.
wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool. It was just cool. I think when I was starting out, just any opportunity to like be on set, and see how it all works.
Well, when you're starting out, yeah, you don't say no to too much because you just need the
No,
experience. You just need to
yeah,
get used to
yeah.
being around other actors and how things work on set, all that stuff.
Yeah, and you can learn from anything. Like you can really learn from any opportunity if you choose to have that perspective. So,
Um, I had Nikki Bilderback on a few years back. She was on Bring It On, and then you got to do one of the sequels that came out.
yeah,
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
that's
Cheering
so
pretty close
cool.
to dance.
It is. It is. And even prior to Bring It On, I had done another series called Dare Me,
Oh, I remember
that was
Dare Me. I
shooting.
forgot about
Yeah,
that.
it was on Netflix and USA Network, and that shot in Toronto, and I was playing a cheerleader in that. And so we got some cheer training with actual professional cheerleaders, and so that also helped when we did Bring It On. We had like cheer camp with real cheerleaders as well, but it really changed my perspective on cheer. I'm like, it's a full on sport.
Oh
They're
yeah,
athletes,
yeah. You
like
got to have some
cheerleaders are athletes.
athleticism to cheer.
Yeah, yeah, it's so cool. It was really fun.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I always the original came out about the time my daughter was growing up, so I've always had
Yeah,
kind of a fondness for that one. So I've seen most of them through the years. Now
yeah,
it's still a little too early. Like my granddaughter's 5, and she's
right.
cheering now. She cheers and dances, but still a little too early for those. But I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. One of these days and watch those.
Maybe in like when she like hits her teens,
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be because
it.
I
That's it.
was watching Bring It On like the first one. I was so like I loved it, and being a part of that, iconic world is
Right.
so cool. And I remember even my friends were like, "Oh my God, you're on the Diablo." I was like, "Yeah, I am." It's so cool.
That was the coolest name, I thought. Was the
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I agree with that. So okay, so the new one is Saint Pierre, which
Yeah.
it's a kind of a police procedural type of show. But tell me what Saint Pierre is about. What's your role on it?
Yeah. Yeah, so Saint Pierre is one of those like procedural whodunit type drama with some comedy as well, and it
Yeah.
follows two super badass detectives, Fitz and Arch, who comes from completely different walks of life, and they just have to learn to become partners.
Is that a
To
man and a woman?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
what I thought. Yeah.
played by Alan Hocko and Josephine Jobai,
Yeah, yeah.
which are both
Yeah,
I
those
love
are
them
they're
so
good
much.
actors.
I love it. They're good actors and even better humans. Like I
Isn't that
love them so
nice on
much.
set when your lead actors are actually nice people? It has to make it
Yes,
easier on set.
yes. And they just make the whole experience so fun. And especially like someone like Alan, he's also the executive producer. He created the show. He's the one who had the idea and called up Rabina, his
Yeah.
co-showrunner, and was like, let's make this show. And but then every day when we're working together, he never makes you feel like he's your boss, even though
Right.
he is. He's just another castmate that we're like goofing around.
That's great.
And Josie just has this way of making everybody feel so welcome. Like any guest that
Mhm.
comes on to set, like she has this warm energy and it's so effortless to her. That's just how she is. So to have them both lead us is just really, really a healthy, collaborative, creative environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
So,
that show is really cool. So it follows kind of like their because they come from different backgrounds and originally they don't really like click, and it
oh yeah, they
follows
probably battle at
their
the beginning.
partnership 100%. And then my character Patty, she's one of the police officers in the Saint Pierre et Miquelon police force, and
Yeah.
she's the youngest one. She's the rookie, so she's not as experienced as everyone, but she's really good at what she does. She's sort of the one in charge of research, so she often finds like the missing pieces of the puzzle that help Fitz and
Oh, it's a
Arch
fun
solve the
role.
case. Yeah, yeah, she's badass. I love her. She also just loves what she does. She's just so passionate. You'll never see a cop having so much fun, like doing their job. Like she loves what she does. So it's super fun to play.
That would have to be fun to play because I mean it if you can play a character where the character loves what they're doing, I mean, how fun's that? Because you just get to be in a good mood most of the time.
Yeah, and it's such the environment is so exact to how Erika is feeling, like having so much fun being on set with these people. And, Patty really looks up to Arch and she's like her mentor, Arch's mentee. And she loves her and she just like admires her. And like, I love Josie. I admire her so much. Like she works so gracefully and she's incredible. And there's a lot of like, the real world and the story world kind of collide. And so a lot of my own experience, I can just kind of bring that to Patty, like Erika having so much fun. So yeah, it kind of shoots it.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, good for you. That's well, and it's not a guest spot. Like you're a regular on the show.
Yeah. She's in every single episode, and they always solve the crime. It's like the chorus. It's Arch, and then Benz, who plays Marcus, like who's the boss of the station, and Jean-Michel, who plays Renouf, who's another police officer, the one that's like a bit lazier, he's always like munching on his croissant. And Patty's,
well, you always have one of
like,
those in the police department.
He's the guy, and he does it so well. Like he's hilarious. It's so hard not to laugh sometimes when we're filming. He's just hilarious.
That's terrific. I love that. And I think I saw because it's airing in Canada right now, right?
It is, yeah, it is on CBC TV every Monday at 9 p.m. or CBC Gem online.
Yeah, and I think I saw it's coming to CBS here in the States, but not till like late in the year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's cool. We were all like, I mean, we kind of knew or have a feeling that it's going to be in other places, but I think it's right now it's just in Canada, and it'll
yeah. Well, I was excited about it because it probably means that you're not going to just have one season. If it's getting sold out to other countries.
We are all praying. Like you don't understand, the group chat is still going. We're like we're all trying to find like clues and we're like, what's happening? They're trying to get hints. Nobody's telling us anything, and we're all like, we need another season. Not just because obviously it's amazing to work, especially in this time where the industry is a bit slower. It's amazing to be able to work, but just because we genuinely love each other so much. And I think we all talk about it in every interview we do, but it's not just, I get along with my colleagues or I really like my colleagues. We're always like joking. We're like, there's so much like when you just want to like squeeze and you just don't know what to do with this love. And it's become family. And you hear actors say that all the time, but it truly does feel that way. So a second season and just being able to be around that group again and that environment again would be a dream. So I'm really, really praying for that to happen.
I think it's going to happen. I don't think you even need to worry about it. It's going to happen.
You think so? Okay. If you say it, it must.
I'm going to make a few calls. We'll make this happen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, I'm looking forward to it because for a long time, we didn't get anything from Canada and here in the States. But now we're starting and Schitt's Creek probably broke the barrier, and then we got Kim's Convenience, and now they're trickling over now, which makes sense. It's right there, and it should just be an app. Why can't we get that in the States?
Yeah. I have like friends that are watching it, like changing their VPNs and whatnot. I'm not very technical. You have people doing that to watch it, and it's like people want it. People want the content. We make good things in Canada too.
Well, Canada, a terrific job on movies and TV shows. They do so good. And so why deny the rest of the world that? Let's pass that on.
Yes. Whoever's watching, have more Canadian content everywhere in the world.
That's right. The only like for years, the only Canadian show I remember coming over was Flashpoint, and that's because it was syndicated and it got kind of syndicated and came over to the States. But other than that, we didn't have anything for a long time. But now I'm starting to get some stuff.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff over in Canada.
There is. I'm pretty confident that St. Pierre will end up somewhere in the. I mean, if you already heard that it might hit.
Yeah. What I saw, it said it was winter 2025 on CBS.
Okay. So. Love that. I love that. That's amazing.
So hopefully that's true, because that means CBS,
Yeah.
that's Paramount. So,
Yeah.
we'll get on the Paramount app.
You know that right after this interview, I'm gonna go into our group chat and be like, guys, this is what I heard, because we share every tidbit of information.
That's what I saw. I can't say it's true, but I'm guessing.
Michael told me.
That's right. Mike said.
Yeah.
When did you film it? Was it like last spring, something like that?
Yeah, we started last spring. We started in May all the way until end of November.
Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty long shoot.
It was, but we did have a hiatus. Like in the summer, we had 2 months off, which is unusually long, but that's because the same production company, Taco Productions, they also are part of another show called Son of a Critch. And that show, all their stars are kids, so they have to shoot during the summer break when they're off school. So July, August is when they film. And St. Pierre, the island, we shoot both in St. John's, like in studio, St. John's, Newfoundland, but we also shoot in St. Pierre in Miquelon, like the actual French colony island, for all the exterior shots. And in the summer, they get very busy with tourists. So we can't shoot there during the summer because we kind of take over the island when we shoot there.
Yeah.
So we get the summer. So the first.
That's not terrible though, because I mean, if you had to pick months to be off, July and August, that's.
It was actually at first I wasn't sure if I would like it, and I loved it. It was amazing to just have like 2 months of work and then have 2 months off, coming home, because also St. John's is far. I'm in Toronto, it's a flight, so I didn't get to see my friends, my family, and then coming home and having that summer off.
Yeah.
And then going back and doing another 3 months. And there's also something about like the process when you're working and then you have that time off to kind of like let everything soak in and you reflect on things and then go back. It almost felt like we got to do the second half of the season with like season 2 knowledge almost.
Right.
It felt like that. So I think a lot of us came back, and we call it the glow up. Like even watching, because we shot episode 1 to 4 in the spring and then 5 to 10.
Well, I got to pay attention when I hit episode 5 then.
Yeah,
see if I notice the difference.
Josephine, who plays Arch, she was like, oh my God, guys, the glow up in season 5, we all look amazing. So I'm like, yeah, in season 2, it'll be even more of a glow up.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's pretty exciting. Did you just submit a tape, or did somebody reach out to you?
I did. It was just a regular audition that my agent sent me. I read the scene. It was just one scene. My audition scene was the very first episode when Patty, like, we're in the first episode when Fitz arrives. We all kind of like make fun of his suits and we're speaking in French and he doesn't understand, or we think he doesn't understand. So it's the scene where it's like in all the ads, but it's the scene where Arch is like, actually, he speaks French, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he heard everything you were saying.
And then I kind of go back and be like, okay, well, here's the information I found. That was my audition scene. It was one scene, it was super well written, so it was kind of just easy. And the one thing that I had noticed was like, oh, this character loves what she does. So I just kind of brought that to it, and it was just a tape. There was no callback. There's no. I did know Alan Hocko, who's the creator of the show, because he graduated from the same theater school as me 20 years prior to me. And he does this amazing initiative where he comes to the school and makes a short film with third-year students.
Oh, nice.
He comes and observes. Yeah, it's amazing. He comes and observes, because it's mainly theater training. So he comes and observes whatever show that we're doing for a week. And he just watches everybody. And based on whatever he sees, he writes a script for that class specifically. And then you film it at the end of your third year. So you get some sort of film experience, you get some footage.
That's great.
He does that thing every year. Our year, we didn't get to actually do the filming because I graduated in 2020, which is when we had COVID. So we didn't actually get to do that project in person. But he did come and like watch us for a week because he was intending to write a script for us. So I had kind of known him through that, and he was like this mentor person that I was like, he's so cool. Like he's doing exactly what I want to do, like making his own show and starring in it. So I already had a bit of a connection. So when that came in, I was like, oh, cool, it's Alan's show. But yeah, it was just off a South tape.
Oh, that's pretty great. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Did you know that it had the potential to be something, or like when you were auditioning, did you know what the show was, or was that kind of hidden?
No, I didn't. Well, I knew it was a procedural, like the content, I knew what it was going to be. That it was a procedural, that it would follow these two detectives, and
Yeah.
Patty was one of the main, officers that would be in all the episodes. I didn't know that. But watching, we did our first watch party in St. Pierre while we were filming. We got to see the pilot with like the entire cast and crew, and when I watched it, I was like, oh wow, like that's what we're making. Like you never really know the full picture. You
Right.
hope it's going to be something good, but you don't really know because the script can be good, and it doesn't always mean that the finished product will be good. So watching it was really exciting, and that's when I think it clicked for everybody. We're like, oh, that's what we're making.
Yeah.
And then next time we went back to set, there was just like a different kind of drive, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty neat. And I think it's fun when you watch a show and you see the I mean, technically it's the characters evolving, but it's really the actors that are just getting comfortable with the characters. And so they get better as the show goes along. And if you have more seasons, then it just becomes comfortable to the point that it just seems like that's the person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I think we figure it out in the beginning, and at one point, like you kind of really sit into it. And especially when it's the first season of a show, and we don't really the tone of the show or
Right.
the vibe. There's no precedent. There's no kind of like framework, and you're kind of all finding it.
Right.
So hopefully we get a second season now that we know what we're creating.
No, it's coming. I already told you. That's
slide into it. Yeah. It is. When I should say when.
About this time next year, we'll be talking about season 2.
Okay, I like that. We'll make that.
You heard it here first. So if you get season 2, now you're obligated to come back and say that I was right.
Okay. We'll definitely do that. 100%. I'll talk to Amir and make sure that's set. We'll set that up.
Tell me about Snacks and Play.
Oh, I love that. It's so cool that people are asking me about Snacks
I know
and
it's
Play.
such a cool idea. That's I definitely wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, it's an actor community that me and my best friend Jennifer started, and it's basically just friends getting together. But in the beginning of 2024, when the strike was happening, things were pretty slow here, and so me and my friend we were like, why don't we just start a community of actors where we can get together once a month. We bring some snacks and then we play, like whether it's a cold read of a script or do some scene studies, watch a movie, or just talk. We wanted to create a safe space where we could all come together as a community and support each other and exchange, because I think we lost a lot of that after COVID when in-room auditions weren't really a thing.
Right.
You don't really see other actors unless you're working on set.
Well, yeah, you lost you lost all the direction, like the in-person direction, and then you lost people to play off of as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we wanted, this sense of community. We wanted support, and we also wanted to just exchange whatever knowledge or information we gathered throughout our career and share with each other so that we can build together, I always just think it's so cool when you see people like Spike Lee and Denzel Washington, and they're big names that we know now, but when they were like training together, when they were like in a basement, like doing a theater or whatever, and then they build together. And I think it's really cool to reach like vertically for people you admire and that you want to work with, but I think it's also really important to like connect horizontally with people that are kind of where you are right now, and then bring us all up together. So that's what Snacks and Play is. We just get together and we support each other, we exchange, we keep our acting muscle working, and we have snacks.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
it sounds fun.
It's cool. It's so fun. And it was really cool because I started Snacks and Play around like just a month or two before I booked St. Pierre. And my dad's in Montreal and I live in Toronto, so I don't see him all the time, but he had come visit me and I had given him both news kind of at the same time. I'm like, oh, I started this actor community thing called Snacks and Play, da-da-da. Oh yeah, and I also booked St. Pierre, da-da-da. And he was like more proud of me for starting the actor community rather than like booking a series regular on the show. He was like, oh, that's cool. I'm so happy for you. But he's like, that's really important. Like he's also an artist. He's a bass player.
Oh yeah, so he gets it.
Like that's so important. Yeah, like the actors supporting each other. So that was yeah, that was just cool. He's like, I'm so proud of you for doing this. I was
Oh,
like, oh, thanks, Dad.
well, I was going to ask you what your parents thought about you going into acting, because I know a lot of families, they worry,
Yeah,
when their kid goes into acting or dance for that matter, because
yeah.
as parents, we just want to make sure that you're secure, that whatever you're doing is going to be a career. So how did your family take it?
They were very supportive, actually. Both my mom and
Good.
dad were very supportive. I think because I started dance at a young age and they saw that I could kind of like work as a dancer, transitioning into acting was, they had already dealt with me wanting to be a dancer. So actor wasn't any really different for them. And they're both sort of artists. My mom grew up being a ballet dancer and she painted and all of that. She never
Oh
like
yeah, so they
worked
both
as an
get it.
artist, but and my dad's a bass player, musician. So they both understood. My dad had a little bit of oh, but make sure you go to school, make sure you go to university and get some like a background, like
Backup
a
plan.
plan B just in case, And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna need a plan B because if I have a plan B, I'll use it, I'll need it, So I'm like, I don't need a plan B. I'm just looking forward. And then, but he never pushed it. It was just a thing that he would kind of say once in a while.
Yeah.
But I think they're seeing now that I've been able to kind of support myself and create a living for myself doing what I love, and they're so supportive, very very supportive.
That's cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty good. Is there a genre that you haven't done that you would like to do?
Oh, nobody's ever asked me that. I love, like, I've done romance, I've done horror, I guess I haven't really done comedy, or this is kind of comedy drama, but I haven't done a straight comedy. But I don't even know if I want to do that. That scares me. Like, comedy is so hard.
Comedy's hard.
Um, yeah, I would love to do like a psychological thriller,
Oh, that'd be good.
like something dark and twisted, but like with a good plot.
Do you want to be
Um,
like the villain, or do you want to be the victim or the hero?
kind of none and all of them. Like I like when films or shows are like there's no like clear bad guy and a clear good guy. It's not cookie
Yeah,
cutter. It's just showing each person's humanity and everyone's kind of bad at some point and everyone's kind of good at some point.
that's
So
right.
I like those shows where sometimes you're like against someone, but then it flips
A
and
little more
you're for them.
complicated.
And yeah, I love those. And I also would love to do an action. I would love to do an action film, but with a good plot. Because I feel like action films often it's just like fun to watch, but when you actually think about the plot, it's like, oh, there's not much going on. So I would love to do like a good action.
You always see those films where like they take the ballet dancers and turn them into assassins. So maybe we could
What?
do something like that with you.
Wait,
Then
wait.
you
What
could
do you
have,
mean we always see those films?
I promise they're out there. But what about something? What if you're a dancer and something happens, you get injured or something, so you can't dance anymore, but you kind of fall into either becoming an assassin or maybe you fall into solving crime?
Maybe become an assassin to take revenge on whoever injured me
Oh,
and
there
that
you go.
crushed my dreams of
There you go.
becoming a ballerina. We
Yeah,
should
well,
write something. We should create a show.
we could totally do that. Yeah, I think I'd rather do a show than a movie. We'll keep this going.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, because then you could do that for like you could be the main character for several seasons, and then
Yeah.
you kind of semi-retire and train another main character. You could keep that show going
Ah.
for forever.
Well, that is something I actually want to do. Like I am working on. I started writing in the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I had done this movie a few years ago, and me and the director really hit it off. His name is Graham Campbell, and we started writing together. We just like started spitballing ideas, and then we landed on this thing, and we've been writing for the past like year and a half, 2 years now, and um, now we're kind of working towards developing this show that hopefully we'll make one day, and maybe we'll talk about that in a few years. Um, but yeah, it's a very beginning stages, so I don't have much to share yet. But I'm kind of learning how to like we have a script, we have our pitch package, whatnot. It's like okay, how do we get this made? Um, so
How
yeah,
fun.
I got into that. Yeah,
Well, I like it that you've got a kind of a writing partner because it's motivating when you have somebody else
Yeah.
that is kind of relying on your part too. I
100%.
like that. That's pretty good. That's
100%. The accountability like gets us
right.
actually moving forward, because there's so many times where he was talking about that a lot in his career, where people were like, oh, let's collaborate, let's make something together, and then it kind of always like falls through. We talk, we talk in a moment. Sometimes we're like, oh, let's do this, and then it falls through. That happens all the time. So the fact that we're actually like sticking to it and
Right.
keep going, it's quite special, so it's been cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. And I think it's smart to be creative with your own stuff.
Yeah.
Hollywood's hard, or acting
Yeah.
is difficult. You might as well give yourself some of your own opportunities, if that makes sense.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
It's
No, that's really great. I love that. Oh, I wanted to mention Collars of Love. We like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, you were good in that one.
Thank you.
Admittedly, we were watching because my wife is a fan of Chad's, but
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair. No, I love that was one of my first films, I think, after I graduated school.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because Chad and Jessica, they were both people I was watching growing up. Like I was such a fan of One Tree Hill and
right.
such a fan of 90210. And it's just really nice when you feel like you're moving in your career, and you're like, oh, that's so cool to like be in the same room and then learning and seeing how they do things, and it's people that have just been in the industry longer and that have had the kind of success that I want to have. And so it was really inspiring.
No, that's cool. Yeah. I wanted to mention that one because she was a '90s teenager. So One Tree Hill, 90210, those were her shows and stuff. So
Yeah.
we saw that one. She's like, we got to watch that, and I was like, all right.
Right.
Good. Did you perform on The Voice?
On The Voice?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? Did I perform? Yeah. I was on The Voice. I was in the 4th season of it.
Like but as a dancer, I'm guessing, right?
Oh, no. I wasn't dancing in The Boys. I have my character, her name is Tala, and she's one of a member of the Shining Light Liberation Army, and she kind of has this history with Kimiko, played by Karen Fukuhara.
Gotcha.
And she kind of like comes for revenge, and they have their whole
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I assumed it was the Voice singing competition.
Oh, The Voice. Is that what you said?
Yeah, The Voice.
Oh, I thought you said The Boys.
The Boys. Yeah, no, I know The Boys. I got The Boys.
Oh, yes. Oh, The Voice. Oh my God, that was so long ago. Yes, that was when I was a dancer. Yes,
well, that's why I wasn't 100%, but I wrote down The Voice. And I'm like, The Voice? And I was like, must have been as a dancer.
Yes, not a singer. But yes, I was on The Voice. I did some backup dancing on The Voice, I think. That just feels like such a different era of my life.
Yeah, because that's been a while back. Yeah, I thought so. I thought it had been from a while back.
Yeah.
It's still kind of a cool experience, though.
Yeah, I had a lot of really cool experiences as a dancer. I think the company that I was a part of back then and the choreographer that I was working for a lot, like there were a lot of cool opportunities, and I learned a lot during that time.
I mean, if nothing else, it got your face out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. But I would think as a dancer, if you had opportunities to perform on TV, that'd be kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that is true. You know what? It's cool that you say that, because my mom reminds me of this sometimes. She's like, it's so cool seeing your career trajectory and like you're clearly moving forward, But when you're so in it and you're focused on the next thing, I don't often take time to like look back and see everything. So now it's like, well, yeah, being on TV is my job, but it's true that at the time it was like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's not just dancing on stage; it's like on screen, and it reaches so many more people, and it was just cool, So that's.
I like that your mom noticed that, because you kind of can see, if you look at your career and just how it's progressed, it's kind of neat. You can definitely see that you're advancing in your career, and now you're a series regular on a show.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thank Thanks. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to. I'm such a bit of a workaholic. I'm working on balance, but I'm always like looking to the next thing, which I think that discipline and drive is good. But it's nice when people remind me, like, be like, hey, like, look at all of this.
Yeah,
And
take
just
a moment.
second to like, yeah, to be proud and
Yeah.
be like, yeah, I did that and I worked hard for it. So it's nice to be reminded.
Yeah, you got to do that on occasion, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you like starting your show, and at first we're just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing with my son, and then now 900 episodes later, and that's like your
I know we
full-time
couldn't
thing,
believe
like,
it. We were thinking, we'll do a few episodes and be done.
it's so cool. It's so cool. You never know
But
what something can turn into.
well, and that's the goal. Whatever you're doing in life, that's what you're trying to do, is just establish something, create something. You know, most of the time though, it doesn't work out. You know, so when you actually get those moments where you're successful and things are working, you should appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Erica,
were
thank you
talking
so
about
much for taking some time. I'm such a fan of yours. I'm excited because you're, you know, like I said at the beginning, you're just really getting started, but you do such a good job with your acting. I'm excited to see where that goes. I think it's going to be on St. Pierre for a while. That's my prediction.
Yes, hopefully we get many more seasons.
Yeah. I'm hoping so. So a couple of things, Erica, before I let you go. Anything else that you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
Oh, not right now. Not anything that I can speak of yet. So yeah, as of now, hopefully we get another season, and then hopefully I'll be back to talk about some more stuff in a few months.
Yeah, you have to. Where can we find you on social media?
The only social media I have really is Instagram at Erika_Prevost.
Yeah, it comes right up. Yeah. I already looked you up. It's right there. And really, do you need any others? That's the nice one.
But like I think I do have a TikTok account. It exists. I just don't use it. And I don't really do Twitter or X. I don't really. Facebook also exists, but I don't know. Instagram is the only one I'm really using. So you guys can follow me on Instagram.
That's very good. Well, Erika, until next time, thank you so much for the time. This has been the best.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Oh, you too. Okay, hold on one second. I really enjoyed that, Erika Prevost. The show is St. Pierre. You can watch it on Gem now, and I think CBS later this year. So keep an eye out. But if you're in Canada, you should be watching the show. Sounds amazing. She plays rookie officer Patty. So looking forward to that. I think she does such a good job. I should have mentioned Scream 6. She played a frat girl in that one. Let's see if I missed any other ones. Mistletoe Time Machine and Saying Yes to Christmas. Of course, she's done a couple of Christmas shows. She's in Canada. I'm pretty sure that's a requirement. If you're living in Canada, you have to be in a Christmas show. So she definitely did that. Dare Me, really good show. I'm glad she brought that up. And then we mentioned Party of Five and American Gods. Talented actress. I'm sure she was a fabulous dancer as well. Support her. Let's show her support and keep an eye out because I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of her. Just terrific. I really enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much. If you're tuning in with us for the first time, or if you're returning, we're so thrilled that you keep coming back to us. But if you're here for the first time, love to have your support. Easy to do. Couple of quick ways you can do that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It's free. Really helps us out. Our website's meistercon.com. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything we have going on, be on the website, meistercon.com. You can also find, as of today, 902 episodes, audio and video versions. So please check that out. If you have a favorite show, either from the past or current, chances are we've talked to somebody from it. So please check that out. We've got a few dozen playlists, so there's plenty of material there that I think you'll enjoy. So please check that out, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.